Greetings everyone. Welcome to Cardano Open Source. This project is an Intersect Developer Advocate support program. Thank you very much for joining this thing from your college, Richfield. But today the meeting is only for leaders and scribes. The aim and objective of today is to help you to plan activities, delegate to your subordinate, get groups working, and then from there supervise. Scribes, your most important thing is the reporting. These are the most important things that we are going to discuss. Other thing, we are going to go into the repositories so that it is clearly defined what are we doing on those repositories. And then any other questions you are welcome to ask. I'm told today most of you have finished the writing exams, test, then I expect probably every day more hours, more work on Discord and on Cardano. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity we are offering you. Thank you. Right, let's have introductions. Let's go. Imran, greet everybody.
Afternoon, guys. Greetings to everyone. My name is Imran. I'm in Richfield College. I do have a certificate, and my group is Group 6. We're currently doing repository in addresses. And so far, we have done research on 3 folders.
Are you a scribe or are you a leader?
I'm a group leader.
Group leader. Thank you. Group 6. Next one, Tapelo.
Hi everybody, my name is Tapelo Mutsibedi. I'm doing DH third year.
What group are you in?
I'm in group G7.
7. Are you a leader or a scribe?
I'm a scribe.
Thank you. Smamgele.
Hello, sir.
Over to you. Introduce yourself.
I'm Smamgele Nzuzo. I'm doing higher certificate. I'm in group 4. Yeah.
Are
I'm
you
a
a
scribe.
leader? Scribe. Thank
I'm a
you.
scribe.
Cherup. Dixon.
Yes, sir.
Over to you.
I'm here.
Introduce yourself.
Oh, hi everyone. My name is Sherb Dixon and I'm in group 5. I'm the leader of group 5.
Okay, group 5. Welcome, group leaders. I think let me congratulate all of you for being voted to run this. All right. Okay. The first most important thing that I would like to do is to share my screen. Before I share my screen or come into the program, what questions or difficulties did you experience in your groups? Probably you would like me first to pay attention to.
So in group 6, sorry, I'm coming back now.
Okay. Right. Meanwhile, we wait for Imran. Yeah,
I'm
you
back,
can go
sir.
ahead, Imran.
Okay, in group 6, we're having trouble with integrating all of our research and our knowledge of it of what the domain-specific language is and the code. We understand what's going on, but we can't put it into code and now change it. Because now if we change it and we aren't really experienced when it comes to Haskell and Java, so if we do that, there might be some problems in the future. How do we solve that?
Right. So you need to understand domain-specific languages. You also need to understand Haskell. Am I getting you right?
Yes, sir.
All right. I will explain this issue. Anyone else? Report in your groups what you have experienced. What issues did you come across? You haven't started at all.
Sir, Cherub.
Quiet. Yeah.
So say me and my group, we haven't started yet because say we don't really understand the work. We in group 5. Is it after we go to the link? Because there's a after you're done, what's called installing what they asked us to install. Is that where we start our work or what's it?
All right. That's a very understanding work to do. Typically, let me give you a situation I'm having, especially with new developers. When I hire new developers in my company, remember, sometimes the work that we get comes from the customer. We're an IT consulting company. So when a customer comes, always customer brings new type of work. So the problem we are experiencing, I see the young people also experience it. It's all about consulting and getting your specifications first. The questions I'm going to ask you will show you what you are supposed to do. You are supposed to communicate immediately. Let's say, number one, you call a meeting, no one attends. Immediately you report. On this day, I called a meeting, this one didn't respond, or 2-3 people attended. If 2 people attend, and then you go ahead. Next thing is, then we don't know what to do, don't know where to go. Then you immediately post that problem onto the group on Discord. Give it an allowance of 24 hours because remember, we are working asynchronously, meaning by the time you are on Discord, others are not on Discord. They will come later and then respond to your GitHub. So it means when you post an issue on GitHub, you can give it 24 hours. The earlier you do, the better. And then you keep checking, there is a response. You might get a response which says, all right, can I have a short meeting with you so that I show you what to do? Then immediately there is a problem there because it's me, Alex, it's Udai or whoever, or is another developer trying to assist you. By the time whoever is responding, you are not online. This is why I say we work in asynchronous way, whereby the message is being sent, they are sent in different times and by different people in different places. So it is a skill. You can ask yourself, how did these people working on open source GitHub and using Discord really coordinate their activities to a point of creating great applications. They have created great applications. They've made, some of them have been employed, some of them have made good money out of it. So it all boils down to one thing. That skill that I told you, say 4 skills: communication, meeting deadlines, teamwork. I've forgotten the 4th one. If you wrote them down, you must remind me. Communication is key. Communicate early when you have got a problem. Don't be afraid to communicate one thing 10 times. That is how these things get to work. All right. Let's hope today I'm going to clarify to you, and then from going forward, we are going to carry on. Ntobeko, mute your mic. There is some music background there. All right. Any other observation or any other problem? Welcome to those who came late, Joseph and Ntobeko. We're just looking at your issues you faced from the time you started till now. And today, most of you have written exams, so I'm expecting more activity going on and going forward in your different groups. Anyone with another issue or problem? Okay, when you get work that you don't know what to do, there is another skill that I told you: research. Guys, I hope you have got papers and pens. Sorry, I was a teacher for a long time. I tend to teach, not to lecture. I tend to teach. That's my problem. Right. We call these soft skills. Soft skills. As opposed to hard skills. The hard skills are the technical skills that you have learned, that you are learning, coding, whatever, in your college. Java. Now, soft skills are skills, they are not taught sometimes. You need to learn them because they tend to be the most important skills for you to be a very good developer. I'll repeat them again. So let's go through. I only selected 4, but there are many. The first one is deadline, meeting deadline. Okay. Number 2, teamwork. Number 3, communication. My number 4 is research. Let me start with deadline. Deadline is one of the most important skills that you need to learn. Whatever work you do, get to know when is it needed. And then the moment you know when it is needed, strategize how to get it finished before the deadline. I will give you one of the, my strategy that I developed along the way. Whenever a customer gave me a deadline, I would just ask patiently, when do you want this thing done? Probably they will say, we need it end of the month. Then I calculate from here, end of the month, I'm left with 11 days. And then I say, all right, you need this end of the month. Then I write it down. There is always a good reason why a customer gives you the information he or she is giving you. The next thing I do is I break that work into pieces and make sure I do what we call daily or 2-day deliverances. We normally use a methodology called Agile Software Development, where you do daily sprints every 2 weeks. But in my case, if I'm given 11 days, maybe I break it into 5 times. I make sure that within the first 2 days, I achieve a milestone of the customer and deliver, so that the customer can review and then give feedback. Meanwhile, I correct what the customer is saying, no, do it this way. At the same time, I'm doing another milestone sprint. I always strive, if the customer says 11 days, I time myself within 8 days, I must be 3/4 away. Sometimes you won't even finish. 3/4 away, or at least 60-70% or done. 3/4 away or 70% of the time, I use it now to get feedback, to correct mistakes, to fill up the gaps. And again, within 2-3 days when I'm communicating with the customer, immediately, sometimes it becomes very clear we can do or we can't do the task. Sometimes you get into dependency issues. When you start, is brought in a software from somewhere else, and he or she has requested you to finish it up. Maybe you are not aware. That is why when you do your analysis, what we call software project specification, analysis and specification, you need to do that before you quote or before you agree anything with the customer. So let's come back to us here. Meeting the deadline means you need to have some targets and deadlines set. You as a leader and a scribe, it's your duty. You need to write that down. Break down the task within the group, then make the group agree on a deadline, agree on the task. Don't have too many tasks. I suggest have a few tasks, and then each task achievable, and then assign the task, and then have a deadline. That one is very important. Please scribe, report everything. This day we had a meeting, our task, we 1, 2, 3. So and so was going to do this and this and this and this. And then the deadline for this task was on this and this and this. So we want to see that from the scribe, and then the leader, then you make sure that you motivate everyone to do that. Right, let's get on to the next task, number 2 and 4. Right, the issue raised is we don't know what is a domain-specific language. We don't know this thing. We don't know Haskell. It's new to us. It is very common in the industry. We are going to be dealing with the new technologies, especially with new customers. Old customers where you have already created the app, you are maintaining support, it's a little bit predictable. But they can also come and request for another feature that you never thought of. Okay. I want to ask you 2, 4, 6 here. When you don't know something, what must you do? You are working. Yeah, Tapelo. That's number 4.
You have to research and analyze the problem.
Yes, research. There is no teacher now out here who is going to say, you can go and say, all right, teach me, I don't know how to do this. You teach yourself. You research. When we say research, what do we mean? We need to make things that are pragmatic, practical. How do we research? Let's take this one. This has been a domain-specific language. We don't know what is domain-specific language. We don't know what is Haskell. Then we know we must research. And the question is how, where? Give some ideas. You know.
Okay.
ChatGPT.
Right, I'm going to list ChatGPT. Next.
With my group, we just find out what the folder or the issue is about. Let's say when it comes to the coverage folder, there's a, there's an issue there where it requires us to identify a file and then configure it. So now the problem is how we're going to configure it. So we would just go on Google, search how to configure a file, and we're using address repository and get all our details.
Okay. Anyone with something different? So here I've got two things. Number one, you discuss like what you have brought in now. When you are discussing together, breaking it down, giving each other ideas, that falls under number two. You need to tackle a problem as a team. Do you know many hands can lift up a very heavy item which only two hands can't? So when you are many and you are solving a bigger problem, we are researching, give each other ideas. What is important is, number one, when we work as a team, I've realized it doesn't create a lot of stress. It quickens, it opens up different opportunities or avenues, way of thinking. Number two, areas of research. Right, we all know we are using internet. So all our areas of research, let's say the first one is online. But remember, you can even use your networks. Send a chat WhatsApp message to me asking your question. Then if I can answer it there, then I answer it. That's a research. You can ask your friends who are graduates, who are working somewhere, or it could be your father, your sister, your brother, is a developer somewhere. Just tell them, you know what, we have got this project on open source we are doing. Do you know anything about this? You might find he or she knows something and can help you. Can you show me? Then they show you. By research, we mean use all available resources to get something done. Sometimes it's good to write them down, especially when you are starting, because at some point in time, you are going to see other resources are going to be better than others. I'm going to give you other popular areas where almost all developers are. It's called Stack Overflow. How many of you have heard about Stack Overflow? Have you heard about Stack Overflow? No one. It's your first time hearing about it. Okay. Right, you can come here on Stack Overflow. Then type any question on anything. It is a very popular place for developers, this Stack Overflow. Cardano has got Stack Exchange. Where is Stack Exchange? Did I type it wrongly? Stack Exchange. This one, stackexchange.com. Right. This is where Cardano is on Stake Exchange. So what is this human capital? Right, there we go. I'm on Stake Exchange. I just type domain-specific languages. Right, we have got in different languages there. But you see here again, I'm sent to Stack Overflow. The most common one is just to use the search engine Google. These days, when you even go to the URL on top there, you type there, it will just go to the search engine. You can come here, domain-specific language. Then it gives you something. Then I want to help you a little bit. Always contextualize your search, like in this case, Cardano. Right. Then you will see it narrows down, gives you some areas where this appears. Smart contract, there it is. Then you can see there is a Medium article there. Then we've got programming languages. Then from there, you need to be a little bit more specific. Like, I don't know what domain-specific languages are. Then go, yeah, there's somebody who said ChatGPT. AI these days, yeah. If you say, you see here I'm putting Cardano, otherwise there could be domain-specific languages in other areas. In Cardano, then ChatGPT, you can say, give examples. But you need to be aware that the free version uses old information. It may be good for a start. If you are using a paid version, it's up to date and it's more, the answers are better. But even the old version, this one, you see, it opens up your ignorance about an area. And then it gives you examples. There, you can see Marlow, Helios. Interestingly here, you see this one, it left out Haskell. Haskell is not a domain-specific language. It is like a general-purpose language. But like Marlow, Helios, these are domain-specific. All right, so this is the most important skill that no one is going to give it to you. You need to practice, research, filter, and then immediately you've got something, then publish, communicate, send it to the group. Check with me. Is this okay? How is this? I'll never say to you it's wrong, it's rubbish, it's bad. No. Whatever you find, it will help you move to the next step. But if you do nothing and you sit, don't communicate, don't research, don't use your team, what is going to happen? What do you expect to happen? I think you know the answer. You know the answer. So I want, when you get back to your groups, get these 4 practiced a lot. That is very important. Okay. So I think I have answered all your questions. We are not here to spoon feed you, because if we had answers at everything, you wouldn't be having a job. So we want you to solve problems, to be a problem solver. Tabelo, over to you. I've got a question.
So I would like to ask, let's say after we've done this, we go back to our groups. Is it possible for, rather than just researching, we can also access maybe YouTube, learn how to code in Haskell and...
Yes, YouTube. It, guys, actually, you all know about this. YouTube. You can go to YouTube and then you can learn. Very good point. Learning now. Remember, time is very small, but now you've got a task with a deadline. But I don't know this. For example, Haskell. I have no clue what Haskell is all about. I can't even do one function on Haskell. Then you know what you can do? Look for those short tutorials which mainly introduces. Can search there maybe say short introduction to Haskell. These days, you guys, you are lucky. When we were in school, we didn't have AI. So you are very lucky. And did you know this tool? You can type, give me a simple introduction to Haskell. And then give simple examples. You see, you will see this tool, it explains, it gives you some key concepts. Let's see if it's going to give an example. There it is writing an example. Hello world. Right, there you see. Wow. You see, with this today, in just less than a minute, you have got a tool that can take you from 0 to step 1. I can see even it is going to list to pattern matching, higher order functions. I wish when I was in school, this thing was there. And you know, when I was in school, long time before you were born, we were not allowed to use a calculator. We did all physics and the mathematical calculations mentally with a pen. In all exams we did, a calculator was banned. Imagine you are writing your metric, pure math, final paper, no calculator. I can tell you there were no formulas given again. The paper, go and search for a paper for metric before independence. Search for it for math. It was very hard, number one. Number two, there was no method, there was no calculator. You know, the formulas were not even put there. What I'm saying to you is I wish this to be allowed in schools from grade R up. They must allow ChatGPT. If they allow a calculator now, because the calculator does things for you, then they must allow this so that you just, whatever you don't know, you just use it. Then the type of exams they ask you now must be application type of exams or on a specific context, because a lot of this you can find it there. So if you look at this, what I found here, I will just copy it, paste it on general there. Just go through it. You are going to see it introduces you quickly to, it introduces you very quickly to Haskell. Go through that and see how helpful it is. But to me, even when I look at it like this, when you see a lot of hashes, those hash, star, star, star. That is Markdown. Markdown. So the best tool to read a Markdown are GitHub pages. So I'll just show you. When you go to your GitHub account, there is wiki. Click on a wiki. You can create a page easily. You can even use this as a scribe. Scribes can use this to keep your minutes, your notes. You see, I've pasted it on the right side. But when I preview it, all those symbols, they are converted. And then now I can read properly this side. Right. Give it a title. Introduction to Haskell. Right, let's see how long can it take us to really read this and make a sense out of it. Haskell is a pure functional programming language that emphasizes immutability, strong static typing, and lazy evaluation. It's known for its mathematical precision, which makes it popular for writing reliable, maintainable, and error-free code. Haskell's code idea is that functions are the primary building blocks of the program. The behavior of the program is derived by applying these functions to values. So here they give you key concept is pure functions in Haskell. Haskell, everything is a function. Even a plus sign, a division sign, those are functions. Mutability, one value is defined. Once a value is defined, it cannot be changed. So you do not have a variable that keeps on being changed, the value. You do it like in mathematics where a variable is bound to an expression. Lazy evaluation. This one may be a little bit new to you. Strong static typing. If you are doing C++, some of these are statistically typed languages, but it is strong. Now let's look at an example here, a simple function that prints hello world. So you see how you write a simple example. You run this, it will say hello world. That's a function. So here it explains this is the entry point of the program. So the main function. Put a string ln, built-in function that prints a string to the terminal. Colony IO, what we call it, empty bracket, declares the main is an IO. Input-output action that doesn't return a meaningful value. Basic arithmetic can do addition. For example, here is the function created. You see how you create a function in Haskell is very simple. Start with a name. You put those two colonies, colon, colon. Then on the right side is a type signature. Now this is the trick I'll tell you to do. Every time after the colony side, you must look at the arrows. This one has got two arrows. Go to the last arrow. Then from the last arrow going to the first, what you have the data type between the arrows, those are parameters of a function. The last one, you see this last arrow with int, is the return type. What it is telling us, addition is going to take two parameters, two values, two numbers, two whatever, of a type int, of a data type int. And it will give you back a result of a data type int. So that is the definition of a function. Now, the next line here, it is implementing the function. How is this going to work? This is where now you begin to see. This first int is the x. The second int is the y. Equal. See, it is bound to that expression. So addition will always take x and y, add them. One different thing that you need to know, this plus is a function. It's an infix function. But you learn all these things when you do that. So, but at least you see, without me, without anybody, if you just went to that thing and requested for an introduction, then you have got something simple introduction, then you can go on like that. At least now you have an idea. All right, it is a language for programming like all other languages. It has got modules called functions that take parameters, return a type, that has got implementation and definition. Okay, then here is my advice. Then take 10 different examples. Out of these examples, see the patterns that come out. Once you see the patterns that come out, then from there say, all right, let me now create my own 5 different functions in Haskell. I'm going to create a function, multiply. Then you copy this the way it is, then change the operator. Then division. You do that. Then at least that is how on your own you start putting yourself on a journey to master some little things that you have. Remember, this whole operation is not a course for you to learn Haskell. So that is why you don't need to spend all your time. The time for that will come. But at least you need to have an idea about that. All right, so I have shown you this tool for research. You can use Google, you can use YouTube videos. But be careful, some of these videos are very old. Make sure you have got current, latest information. Okay, I am going to just test you to see if you are listening or you are sleeping. I'll randomly put you into groups. And each one of you, I want you to create for me a function that is going to calculate the total cost of painting a wall. You know, when you paint a wall, you charge per square meter. Maybe to paint 1 square meter, the painter is going to charge, let's say, 300 rand. But then you have got a wall of whatever shape. It can be a rectangle, it can be a square. I want you to write a Haskell function that is going to calculate the total cost of painting a rectangular or a square wall. I'll give you 15 minutes. It will be testing your research skills. So you'll all be randomly assigned. The moment I click, you start immediately. Right. How many are you here? 8, yeah. There we go. Oh, wow. That was very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, let's get on to the group. Tapelo, your hand is up or is by mistake?
No, I think I forgot to remove it.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's have group 1, Mamgele and Imran. Quickly present what you found. Share your screen. Who is the presenter there? Quickly. Okay. Your screen came, then it just disappeared. Right. After group 1, I will follow group 2. So group 2, just get ready. Then group 3, then last one is Cherub, group 4. Just be ready. Let's get group 1, Mamgele and Imran.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're waiting for you.
Oh, okay. Here it is. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So what I did was I created the code to calculate the how much it would cost to paint a wall per square meter. So what I did was I labeled my variables as a string so that once you enter your number, it will be a number and it would have an identity. Now within this, I made sure to mention the formula to calculate the area of a wall and how much it would cost. So for the first one, I put a comment there saying that we would have to get the width of the wall. Okay, I should have added in meters. Then with that, it's going to become a float, so it will stay there as its own variable. Then the next one, the height of the wall. So it would be height times width, which will give us the area. Now all of that would give us, we would have to multiply to how much the pin costs per square meter. Then with that we would get the total amount, being seen here as let total cost equal to calculate cost with height per square meter.
Okay, thank you. Next, let's have Joseph and Hope.
So this is Joseph speaking. So now I don't have a laptop, but then from what I can.
Right, just come closer to the mic, speak. We can hear you.
So this is Hope. So what me and Joseph discussed is inside the group. We send it over to group 3.
All right, I'm going to share so that you can go ahead and explain to us what you found. Very good that you posted it in group 3, because now I'm sharing. I hope you can see Joseph there. You can see my screen,
Yes,
eh?
sir.
Good,
Yes.
go ahead.
So, sir, what we discussed as the cost area would be the area times the amount that will be needed. The area, which includes the length and the width of the shape or the wall, will be times by the amount of the paint.
I see. I see what you have there. I think everybody can relate now because we are all doing the same thing. Very good. Thank you. Let's go to Tapelo in Nontobego.
Okay, so I did send the thing how to calculate the whole thing on the group. So I don't know if you
Group
guys can
7.
see. Yeah,
Yeah.
group 7. I don't.
Oh,
Can you see?
I have it here. You can all see it, ne?
Can you guys see?
Yes.
Oh, you can
Yeah.
see. Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So the type of research I did here, so it's not actually calculating the amount of paint that might be needed. So I only did the size of the wall, and then how much would it be charged per square meter, basically. And then can show you how much you're basically gonna need and the cost as well.
Right. Are you able to follow that function, how it was created?
The function. Oh yes. So it basically here you don't do much. You just have to know the size of the wall. You need to know how much per square meter you're gonna need and how much you're gonna charge. So it calculates everything in decimal, and then just the width and the breadth of the wall.
Okay. Right. Are you able to follow how they called this function? They say calculate paint cost.
Yes.
Do you calculate paint cost?
Yes, per area. Yes.
Now she's laughing. All right. Thank you. Let's go to Cheru.
Yes, let me just share my screen.
Thank you.
So mine, I got it at ChatGPT. And can everyone see the code? The first part of it.
Yeah, we
I can
can.
see.
So here it says function to calculate the area of the square wall. So I just said length times length. I only calculated the length of my square wall. So the first thing you say float, and then these arrows basically stand for times. Because in order to get the area, you say side square. So it's side times side. And then once you're done with that, you come here and calculate the cost, which is you calculate the sides, the length, the sides, and then the cost per square meter. And yeah, that's the code I got.
All right. The process is what is important. If you repeat it more and more, you are going to be refining your Haskell skill. Okay, I want to ask one question. Is Haskell very difficult from the exercise you did?
I think with more understanding, say it won't be.
Other feedback?
Yes, sir.
Means
All
that
you need is just understanding, sir.
Yes. Right. I think this helps you now when you get into your groups. You must have a methodology of researching, sharing, repeating over and over again. Remember, in the beginning, you are going to make errors, misinterpret some symbols. Then, with time, when you actually do a complete course on Haskell, there is a free book, online book, which I'm going to give you free. Learn Haskell for greater good. There is a PDF free one, this one here. So I will put it in the group. It will do you a lot of good service. Whenever you really want to get the fundamentals of Haskell, use that book. Okay, let's get to today. Thank you very much. This practical activity, it shows the capabilities that you have. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through the repositories. Then from there, we are going to break down tasks for each group. And then remember, this is a leaders and scribes meeting. From here, when you go back to your groups, you must be able now to, what we call it, coordinate and get things working. The process is more important. I don't want you to feel, well, this is wrong, this is right, I'm bad, I'm poor, I can't do this. No, the process is very important. You learn it as you do it. That is the most important thing. Can you all see my screen? I'll start with group 1. Right, on group 1, there is no communication there. You can see 13 hours left. Ayanda, Luyanda, and Mlungisi poll. So group 1, one of the two must be voted before 13 hours are left. Okay, right. The most important thing is here. You need to click this top link to go to your repository. So I'm going to close these other links so that we get to this. All right. So if you look into this, getting started, Cardano node, installing a Cardano node. Right. This is the documentation we are getting from developers.cardano.org. Right. This one is nice because it starts you from the documentation. Our aim is we want to contribute at least 30 to 40% to Cardano by helping improve the existing documentation on the right. So here, group 1, here is the documentation about Cardano node. Right, running a Cardano node. You can see this one was updated August 13 by Carlos Lopez. It says edit this page. Let's click here and see where it takes us to. Can you read for me what you see on the screen? Can you see my screen? Hello?
Yes, so we can see your screen.
Read what you see on my screen.
You need to fork this repository to propose changes.
Good.
Sorry, you're not.
All right. Let's go back. Did you see where I was? I'll go again step by step. I'm starting with group 1. I don't know, is there anyone in group 1? Do I have group 1? Luyanda is here or is not here? Lungis. So group 1 didn't come, no problem. But I'm just showing you the approach, one approach. Let's suppose we are all in group 1. Our task is to look into improving. Please underline the task, all of us. We need to work on what we can, improving the documentation of the given repository. Right, in group 1, there it is. All of you, when you go to your group, you click there. If it is not opening, when you click the link, it's because you are opening it with the Windows without permission, without administrator permission. So open your Discord on the browser. Right, I get to this. Here is the one-page explanation on how to install Cardano Node. Okay. The next most important thing is, all right, you need to read through this step by step. And then the other most important thing is, on this Cardano node, if we want to improve or make some changes onto it, what do we do? Okay, this is easy. You go down here. There is edit this page. This is where, when you click this edit this page, it takes you to this where it is asking you to fork this. You must be logged into GitHub so that you can fork this, and then it will be possible for you to make some changes. But before you do that, there is a README doc on how to correctly do this. So here is the part I explained last time. I said, don't make any changes on the actual repository. Don't raise issues here. Fork is number one item. So all what you simply do, you must see here, I'm already logged in. So I'll click fork. Then it says you are making changes in a project you don't have right access to. So here, this is the edit, the preview. Okay, on this one here, it didn't fork. Can you send a pull request? Let me just check here. It didn't give me the option 2. Okay, let me go back. You'll see Cardano node here, installation Cardano node, and then get started, docs, developer portal. So I'm going to go to developer portal. Under developer portal here, then fork. Right. Before I fork, let me show you where I was. I was here. So I was at docs, get started, Cardano node. So if I go back here, so I go to docs, then I go to get started, then I go to Cardano node. This is where that, what do you call it? That installing Cardano node is. So to fork this one, fork it here, right at a developer portal. So I'm recording this, I'll show you the video. So let's fork it. So I come here. It is important to give credit. I give a star, see, it was 375. I'm giving them 376 star, appreciating the work they've done. Then I'm forking this. So this part now, it says create a new fork. Here under owner, most of you have got one account. I have got two. So I can select this one, the WIMS.io or Bessie WIMS. Right, let me use the other one, Bessie WIMS, which is the one that I have here, Bessie WIMS account. So here I am forking this developer portal. Okay, there it is. You can leave it like that or you can change the name. It's up to you. Then in this case, I create fork. Says select the owner. Oh, let me select this one then, because that one is giving a problem. Then I fork it. What you will see now is it is in my account now. WIMS.io developer portal is in my account. What I'm showing you here will be similar to all other groups. Let me go to group 2. Under group 2, I'll come here. This is Cardano Leisure. Do you see where I am? This is where it is. Do you see this one is on a different document than the one that was on this one here? This one was developer.cardano.org. And then this one is where? Somewhere else. Cardano Leisure. Right, this one here, Cardano Leisure. This is what we have here. Leisure explanation, learn about this. This is about this. Then you can click next, next, next. But what about if I want to improve on this one here? You see, it says edit on GitHub. So we click that one again. We get to this point here. What I want you to see with this group 2, it says 44 page not found. And then here we are now on Intersect MPO Bluetooth. Here we are on Bluetooth. Where were we? We were on Cardano Leisure. Okay. Right. I will give you the correct link because you can see this one is a little bit broken. If we go back to this, let me just get back to this one here. Let me open another one here, then go back to Cardano Developer. What I want you to see, if we go to Cardano Foundation, where we were, we had that, where is that project? Developer portal, this developer portal. So on this developer portal, when we open the docs, what other projects do you see here? Smart contracts. Then we have got a operator stake pool, native tokens, integrate Cardano, governance. Right? Let's go to get started. Under get started, we've got Cardano CLI. So that group for Cardano CLI can actually use this documentation, which is Cardano CLI group 3. So what you can do, group 3, you can also fork that because Cardano CLI is here. Cardano Node is here. Then the other groups, I don't see them here. We'll have to find where their documentation is. But you can see this one is this side. But if we go to intersect, let me just go back to this is Cardano Foundation. Let me go to intersect. So we go to these repositories. Then here we search for group 2, which is Cardano Leisure. Here, let's go Leisure. Right, formal ledger specification. Here, Cardano Leisure. So let's go to this Cardano Leisure. When we open it here, it has got its docs here. Here is the docs. It's an empty file. You can see addresses, diagrams, or whatever. There is no get started. Let's go down to this site here. Right, Cardano Leisure, formal specification executable. Right, here, where is get started? So here it explains the structure. There you have Leisure Byron, Shelly, Allegra, and building. This is for building. But where is it where I want to learn about it? It says building the latest docs and executable specifications. Next build. And we've got those PDFs built, testing, GitHub issue, contributing. So what I would like to see here on Cardano Leisure for the group 2 is let's check this doc before I say something. See templates, explanations, documentation site. Yeah, so see there are 2 folders on Cardano Leisure. There's docs, there's doc. So the doc one is the one that has got documentation. So read the docs is building the site on every PR and publishing it on every match. Updating Sphinx dependencies. All right. You can go to explanations. Learn about native token. This is Rust. The documentation of this one, we can also improve it. Let's click the README and see what we have. This is what we have. All right, the Cardano Ledger, I'm going to give you this link. I'll improve group 2. Here you are, group 2. Okay. Right, group 3, you can still fork this one that I have forked everyone. So you'll follow the same step. And let's see group 4. Yeah, group 4 Bluetooth. So you see here, you go to here, docs. This one also opens docs for you. You see now we have got a different documentation now. We had this developer.cardano.org. Then we had this other, the one that I closed. Then we've got this one here. It would be nice to have everything on the same document. But remember, there are different communities. Each community, they use a different doc or whatever they are using, which is fine, shouldn't be an issue. On this one, Bluetooth user guide. If you want to fork and work on this one, you click here, edit this page. So, and then from here, Bluetooth doc, you can see here, Bluetooth doc, Dockersaurus docs. So basically, you'll need to fork the Bluetooth part here. Group 3, you fork it here. Because what you need to work on is this doc inside here. I know there is another one maybe for Bluetooth TX also here. But you need to find where is the documentation for this one. All right, so let me give this group 3 Now group 4, the link to fork. You can still get it via that Bluetooth link on top. But I'm making it easy for group 4 to get it here. Then I showed you last time Bluetooth TX template. This one is very easy. You follow that. I showed you this one. Let's jump this one. Now let's go to Cardano addresses. Right, let's go to this Cardano addresses link. Right, this one brings us here. Let's come down to the documentation. Documentation, they say API documentation is here. Click there. But it brings you to this type of documentation here. This one, I'll have to show you how to go about this documentation. This is auto-generated, this one. So, which means those that are doing Cardano addresses, I will want you to write a simplified documentation similar to this. Similar to this one here. Because remember, when people are starting, they start on the documentation here. This one is brief, the one I've shown you. Although it's very good when you are used to it. I'm used to it to a point that I don't use these other ones. But this is where it is. So, right, so there it is here. So here, what I like with this is here, you already have got the what? The work to do here. You can just use this straight to test the addresses on the Cardano node. Okay, I will show this group how to do it. But the most important thing I would like to see on the documentation here, probably they must be numbered. See, for example, when you test this line, when you test this line on the Cardano node, what results do you see that a person can see? All right, when I run this on the command line on a Cardano node, then I see the following results. Then also I would like an explanation of the command. Cardano address key must be explained. That this key is a command line. Then here it says hash. Then you see this. You need to explain what is that. Then what is this? A little bit step by step. If you can make this a little bit easier for people to come and test. Actually, the addresses, they've put everything here for you. If you can make this better and practice this so that it is similar to this, could be an alternative. You see, what I want is, I want you to come up with something better than what we have. You are not changing any code, so you fork this one. Yeah, there you fork it here. So I think this one is straightforward. Let me go to the last one, group 7, Bluetooth apps. Right, you are also here on the Bluetooth app dock. There it is. And then here's Bluetooth documentation site. They're using this. So if you want to read, you can read it here. Click there to see. We get to this other documentation here, Bluetooth-apps. And then this is where we are. So I think if we can put a lot of effort at some point in time, there is some good work we can do here. So this link for group 7 is straightforward. So everything I have shown you is similar to what I'm showing you here. On my account now, I've got the repository forked. Okay. Step number 2. So you can write down, please help your group, go through with your group step by step. Fork onto your account. So you can do step by step. Then each one in your group, make sure that they have forked this. Then step number 2, then I need you to create a branch. I will suggest even 2 branches. Branch A, branch B. I will explain to you why. So how do you create a branch here? If I make changes here, I can do a pull request, which means request my changes to be accepted from here to this Cardano Foundation, this part here. Which means this one is not on Intersect MBO. Doesn't matter. Can use that one like that. It's fine. Right, from here, it's not a good idea. You send changes here. They won't accept the changes because we are starting, we are a little bit learning. So the most important thing is, let's do it. Let's make this one says stage. Let's create here within this WIMS 2 branches. So I'm going to create the first branch here. You click branch, then you click this branch, then you give it a name. And I'll call it dev -a. Why? Because the next one, whatever change I do to the next branch, I pull request onto this one, which means I match them onto this dev A, then watch, check what dev A looks like. Then if things are completely messed up, I delete dev A or delete the other one that I have messed up, then create another branch until when I think, yo, dev A is a little bit better. Can I now merge my changes from here to the staging, the other one, the main one that we have staging here? Then they maybe can come in and check what changes if you proposed, if you made, how is it better than what was there before. So right, let's create this one. You can see now I've got 2 branches. Let's go back here. You'll see here now I've got 2 branches. So if you open here, you see staging, there is dev A. Then let's have a third one. You can create as many different branches as you want. I'll call this one dev B. Right. So if you go to code, then I've got dev A, dev B. So I can open my dev B by clicking on it. So you see I've copied the repository 3 times. 1, I copied it to my account. 2, I made a copy dev A of my own repository. 3, I made a dev B. So I'm working on a dev B. So it means now on a dev B in your group, this is what I'm going to even suggest. You can give your other members this dev B, and then they will fork it onto their own GitHub accounts. Because remember, it is also a learning process. So that their pull request, their changes comes to this one, def B. And then from there, we can do all other things that I explained to you. But any question about how to do what to do up until where I am? Let's discuss. Questions?
Sir?
Yes.
So I only got to the house right now. None of my team members were able to attend group 1, so I'm not sure if you'd already touched on what we have to do.
Yes, I recorded. I will upload the video. Watch it.
Okay.
You will see I have explained group 1.
All
Actually, I think this example that I'm using here for Cardano node here, this one, is the one that we are using as an example. Yeah, we are using this as an example. So you will follow up easily. Any other question?
I have a question, sir.
Yes, Tabelo.
So I was doing some small research about the type of platforms you can use to code Haskell, and I noticed that even Visual Studio you can. So I was wondering if are there any other that we can use that our computer can be optimized to use that do not take much or need much RAM?
Okay, that's a very good question. Yes, I'll answer the question. I need you to focus on this task. Get onto it. Work onto it. As you are working onto it in different tasks that you are having, you are going to be bit by bit coming across Haskell code called Bluetooth. Bluetooth is like a framework of Haskell for Cardano. I want you to, you become familiar with it as you work on the documentation bit by bit. And then if you need to learn, I've sent you a free book, Learn Haskell for the Great Good. I am going to suggest, forget about all other books, use that one. It's free, it's PDF. We are using it, or most developers are using it, just to begin to get to know Haskell, because it's not going to be a short learning period. Now, to answer your question, are there any platform where you can run and compile Haskell without installing it? The answer is a big yes. Yes. If you research, like I said in the beginning, you will find what you want. Do you see here I typed code Haskell online. Here is a tutorial point. There, it gives us on tutorial point, which means straight away we can run and execute our Haskell here. So the Haskell code, like that one where I said create, calculate cost of painting a wall, can bring it here and test it here. So you see when you execute, it shows on the terminal. Let's run it. There you go. Do you see? GSC 02. There it is. Hello world. There it's working. So I can change world there. Say hello Bernard. Okay, then I execute. There it is working. So you see, you can test your functions that you did. So there are so many. I can't give you this one alone. You search one for yourself. We've got Haskell Playground. Can use this one. There it is. See this one there. It has got quite a sort, quick sort, data structure, quick sort. There it is. This one you run it here. There it is. There it is. It has sorted the list that you have. Right. I can't recommend whatever will be biased, but any that you'll find easy, up to you to use. Because you will always, when you are working, you are always going to come across different tools. So I can't really say use this one, don't use it. But on the book, Learn Haskell for the Greater Good is gonna take you through. All right, I've answered your question. Any other question?
No, the other question is that is there any app that we can download rather than using the online compiler only?
Yes, the compiler for Haskell is install GHCI. Or GSCI. You go to Haskell language. It is there, this one here. How to install. Right, I'll give you this link. There is a YouTube video there that shows you, right, this is for Linux, Debian, system requirements. Then Linux, Ubuntu, Linux, Fedora, Linux, CentOS, Linux, Alpine, Dawn. Where is Windows? There is Windows. Windows generic. There it is. Then you install it. Uninstall, there it is. So I think if you go to the actual haskell.org, that is the best place to go into. Okay, have I answered your question? This will install the Haskell compiler. Then any tutorial we are doing on Haskell, you can run it on that GHC or GCI. You can check system requirements there. I'm not very clear, but it will install on Windows. It will install on Windows, especially Haskell. Right, there is supported platforms. You see, Windows 8 is supported. See, and then Windows 10, there it is. All right. Any other question? There are no questions, then I'll ask you a question. Okay, what did you learn today? And from here, what are you going to do?
Okay, I learned that different types on varied or how to run Haskell coding, types of research that we can include as well, and also how to try edit your document.
What about others? They are quiet. What are you going to do when you leave this?
With me, sir.
I'm going to read more on that book, sir. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
So I learned a new language and I learned about forking. And I realized that forking is very important, especially when it comes to other developers' work. Then from here, I think now that I've got a better understanding, I'm able to like start with my group's work more easily now.
Thank you. I'll repeat again. With your group there, go and identify your documentation and your repository. I've shown you, you follow this video. Fork that repository with the documentation. Once you've forked it onto your account, remember you want to make some changes and see some changes and merge and send some changes somewhere. Don't send your changes to the main group, main branch. Make another copy, I suggest even 2 copies, so that you work on copy B that you will merge with A, see the changes, how they look like, so that now on my branch A, I run it and see how it looks like, the changes are like. Then I run my branch main staging, the main one, that is similar to the one that I forked originally, unchanged. Then you run this one, you compare the changes. Here is the objective. You must bring something better than what is there. So your suggestions, your changes, your issues that you see, that you feel, okay, this one, let me change. It must not make what was there worse. Better you leave what was there untouched. You carry on learning on a copy of a copy. And then from there, the most important thing, I think, for you and your group is to understand how that documentation was done. Right. Let us look at the guiding principles of good documentation. I don't need to even to tell you, you need to search online. What is a good documentation? What must it have? Number 1, from my own side. See, documentation must have where to start, so that from there you logically follow through. If you have a documentation where you don't know where to start, you have already killed a lot of new people who want to work on your repository. Number 2, I am happy with a documentation that has got a table of contents. So that from the table of contents, I know what I'm going to learn. I see chapter 1, I'm going to learn this. Chapter 2, this. So, and the chapters must be logical. If it is, let's say, installation, you need to know, before I install, what are the prerequisites? Machine, see there it says the prerequisites, but I didn't see RAM, I didn't see hard drive, I didn't see what, I only saw Windows 8. But Windows 8 on which RAM, 2 gig, 4 gig, what? Don't take anything for granted. So have all options. Installation, Windows installation, RAM, hard drive, internet speed. A lot of them, they ignore internet speed because overseas, internet is fast. No one worries about internet. But a lot of people, not in Europe, they've got issues with internet. So some of majority of people are on 3G. They are not even on 5G or 6G. They're on 3G. And their internet speed is running in kilobytes per second. See? All those things, don't take them for granted. Put them in nice, clean English. If you are not good in English, English is a second language. Use some tools online to correct your English spelling and grammar. Don't use tools online to create documentation for you. Those tools, the cheap ones, are outdated. They mislead. You can read something and feel it's telling you. It could be telling you totally wrong things because they are based on old versions. That is why for you, if you whatever tool you use, go back to the original documentation you are reading now. So the contents of the documentation, don't change them because you don't know what is a Cardano node, what is an address, what is this. Keep the content intact, improve on readability, logical flow, layout, illustrations, because some don't have even illustrations. So illustrations, for example, you illustrate how something is done. When you do it correct, you must get this result. If you do it wrong, you get a wrong result. Then you see what a wrong result looks like. What do you do when you get a wrong result? When you get a message is, so you know what? This makes things better and easier, and it must flow logically. When I click next, I must go to the next chapter or next page as per table of contents. Not when I click next, I land on another chapter, on another topic that is completely different. Then that is a challenge. So those are the most important things that we should pay attention to. I think we are going to stop now. Tapelo, over to you. Anyone with a question, put up your hand.
I have a question. Yes, I have a question and a request.
Yeah.
So when you're coding in Husky, does the syntax change if you're using Windows and Linux, or does it stay the same?
No, it doesn't. Remember, the source code you write in Haskell, it follows the Haskell compiler expectations. With what you are installing on Windows or Linux or Mac OS is the, what do you call it, a compiler. It's a tool for compiling, linking, and producing binaries called EX.
Okay.
I get a lot of questions on Haskell. Looks like you are so much appetized with the Haskell. That's very interesting. That's very interesting.
No, it's quite different from others.
Yes, it's not only quite different. Haskell is the best of the best. I'll give you the reasons why Haskell is better than all other languages. Of course, remember, different languages are for different purposes. But all these languages are grouped into functional programming and non-functional programming. So the functional programming, they are called declarative. Now you see I'm bringing big terms, declarative, imperative. You are going to be confusing which is which now. The program languages we are doing, Java, C++, Visual Studio, Delphi, JavaScript, some are interpreters. See. They are not functional programming languages. The declarative languages follow mathematics functions. So if you go to your algebra and you start the functions there, and then you look at the expressions, that's exactly what you bring into functional programming. Haskell is a pure, oldest functional programming language. It is pure, pure, meaning it eliminates all side effects, minimizes them to small level that a lot of bugs are caused by side effects. So that is why a lot of our languages we are using, because they are effectful. They are dealing with effects, what do you call it, recklessly. That is what I have seen. You don't care, you just write your code. And number two, even the tools for compiling, they are not static typed, or they are static typed, they are not strict static type. What is static type means? It must help you catch errors when you are coding and testing. At compile time before you run your application and you deploy it. I can take almost 1 week explaining to you the goodies from Haskell. The only thing I can tell you in short is I was very resisting to this language. But when I compared blockchains, Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, it became very obvious. Cardano applications are secure. It has never been hacked, or maybe it was hacked, but there are no major huge losses that came because of the code had bugs. Then the question was, how did Cardano get it right when others are failing to get it right? The first thing Cardano did was to choose a what? A good language. Haskell. Haskell is mostly at university engineering departments. It's an academic language. Mathematically, almost one-to-one with mathematics. Some people say when you are good in Haskell, you are good in mathematics. When you are good in mathematics, you are good in Haskell. I don't know. I think it's all about having the ability to logically solve problems. Not necessarily that when you know Haskell, then you are going to be a problem solver. I don't think so. But the disciplines are the same. So it has got its own way and approach. The syntax of Haskell is completely different from others. But it is not that the syntax structure is different that makes it better. No. It is the principles of good coding that it has. That is why, as I'm telling you today, all other languages have copied the best practices of functional programming. Haskell is not the only functional programming language out there. No, there are others. So, if I can tell you that main JavaScript has got lambda expressions, Java language, C#, they've got anonymous functions. Where did they come from? And remember, these other languages have got classes, interfaces, they do inheritance, do private, public functions, And then they've got a for loop, while loop. Haskell doesn't have a for loop, doesn't have a while loop, doesn't have repeat until. It uses recursion, a function calling itself recursively. The other thing I can only tell you, Haskell is a very old language. Very old. Very old. Go and check its history. 1930s, Alonzo Church. Very old and mature. So those are the advantages. One thing you are going to see the moment you are doing Haskell is going to improve your way you code. You are going to be aware of errors that are very common. But again, as long as you are coding in JavaScript, it's not statistically typed, you are still going to have a lot of bugs. Maybe you can use TypeScript. See, it's better than JavaScript. But what about other languages? Other languages, yes, some are statistically typed, but still, see, they are mutating the state. Other languages don't even care about mutating or not mutating the state. But some other compilers force it, like Rust. By default, all variables don't change. You only change it when it's absolutely necessary. But what is the problem of Rust? It's not a functional programming language. That's another problem. How is the functional programming language better than these other OOP languages? With Haskell, you can chain functions, and because they are pure, that is one thing, they are pure. So you can chain them and form a chain of 1 million functions. Because they are pure, they will always give you the same results. When you give input to the first one, computes, gives, passes, you will always have the same results out of 1 million chain of functions. Why? Because each function by standard must be pure. By pure means it must have zero side effects. What is zero side effects? Internally, there must be no state mutation. Things mustn't change inside the function. They must just run and compute and produce the same results given the same input many times. The functions that we are creating on these other languages are not like that. You give it 2 values today, you get results. Tomorrow you give it the same 2 values, you get different results. Why? Because internally there, the function is introducing side effects. Okay, let me stop here talking about the language comparison. This may be of interest to you because you are young, starting, you have enough time. We are going to dive into it some time to come. For now, let us have a focus on what we are doing out of it. I want us at least to make 30 to 40% improvement. I have put inside 10,500 for your group competitions. It's not just a gift or free. If I'm not convinced you are really working, you are really changing, you are really bringing anything of change here, I'll say no, I cancel it. You need to come again for another 2-3 months. Do it more seriously. Because remember, it is not favor or what. And again, I might have other developers from other countries. Yesterday we had a meeting with the Indian developers. Yo, it was big. How many of you attended yesterday's meeting?
So we tried to access, but I refused.
You were late. Not even one of you here attended. You missed.
We couldn't access it.
You missed. But I can tell you, yo, it was packed. They were also asking, how can we join? How can we join? We are going to bring them. We're going to join. So you play around. You are not serious. Others are serious. They are more serious than you. To tell you the truth, you will be given another chance to do your corrections. If you don't do your corrections, then you will be pushed back to square one. Others that are working very hard will be given opportunities. Why? Because I'm trying to eliminate what you call a relaxing thinking, no, this thing, when it comes to the end, we are going to vote for each other and whatever. No. I want at least 30 to 40% change, better change. It will come with your improvement on your skills. That one is very important. Okay, I'm not threatening you, but I need us to step up. Now, last question to all of you, just give me one feedback. Is this programming helping you? Look at it introspectively. Give me a little bit of feedback. How is it? Because every now and then we need to also be listening to you to see how is it.
It is helpful because now it's helping us to be able to access the real world of IT compared to other, because it also helps us to know that we're not only going to rely on one programming language, which is Java or HTML or other type of platforms.
Thank you. I'm happy to hear this. Is there anyone who wants to say something before we close? Thank you very much. I will upload this video and send it to your groups. Let's call it a day for today. Thank you.
Thank you.